Hello and welcome to Alpha Hunters. Today we arrived in Springfield, Massachusetts to visit Savage Arms. It's the largest rifle manufacturers in the world. Today we're going to see the factory. We're going to do a factory tour and we're going to report on alphashooters.com. Please stay with us. The Savage showroom has a sample of almost every single firearm that was built by Savage and Stevens since 1894. There are very few exceptions to this. One would be the 1907 pistol, which was the Savage submittal to the trials for the 45 ACP sidearm in the United States Army at the beginning of last century. But apart from that, almost everything is here.
Hi, Wayne Crodible here from Savage Arms. I am a senior materials supervisor here. I also handle all the tours. So today what you're going to see is we're going to take you down through the process. We're going to start with making the barrels, where we cut them off, we drill them, we ream them, we turn them. You're also going to see how we hand straighten our barrels. Then they go into stock. You're also going to see the receivers with the same process, where we cut the receiver, we drill the receiver, we turn it, we broach it, how we heat treat it, and then it goes into stock. After all of that is complete, we're then going to take you up and we're going to show you how we build the guns.
What we see here is the steel bar stock that is used to build both the barrels and the actions. The cut and bored pieces of bar stock we see here are going to be axis receivers. A large vertical CNC broacher like this allows for speed and accuracy. However, some Savage receivers, like the 110 that we see here, are still manufactured using horizontal, manually operated broaching machines. The almost completed and fully machined receivers are heat treated using a induction hardening process. All of Savage receivers and actions are built using billet stock, either of steel or of 70-75 aluminum, depending on the firearm, as we'll learn now.
So these machines are responsible for doing the machining on the impulse receivers. Starts as a block of billet aluminum and machines from there.
And here we can see a fully finished receiver next to the bar stock of 70-75 aluminum from which it was machined. The number of CNC machines just for the actions is staggering. It's worth noting that both receivers and barrels are manufactured side by side. The bar stock is sent to these deep drilling machines to build the barrel's bore. Once bored and cleaned, barrels needs the rifling to be cut into them. Savage barrels are button rifled, and it's a largely manual operation. The experience of the worker is the foundation for the accuracy of the finished barrel. Button rifling uses a tungsten carbide tool, and each caliber uses a different tool, obviously. Rifle barrels are cut to length and then turned in a lathe to the desired profile. Some barrels also get their muzzle threads cut in this operation.
That's bent. Nice and straight. See how straight they are? They look like crank tracks on the bottom.
Every barrel in Savage undergoes a manual barrel straightening process. The worker that performs this has decades of experience, and the accuracy of the barrels depend largely on this experience, which, according to Savage, cannot be replaced by a machine. The cut, profiled, and rifled barrels depending on the caliber, are then chambered using the appropriate reamer tool. These are test-fitted barrels and receivers that are waiting to be moved to the surface finishing process. Just out of the manufacturing area, there is a floor that is basically a storage space for semi-finished barreled actions, complete with their bolts, waiting to be finally assembled in a complete firearm. Quality control is paramount in basically any manufacturing process, and Savage is no exception. Not only internally manufactured parts and components are batch tested, but also OEM parts such as stocks, smaller parts like screws, and even tooling are routinely checked for quality. After quality control, we are introduced to the area where the final assembly of the parts we've seen up to now turns them into completed firearms. Individual parts are put together into sub-assemblies, such as completed bolts for bolt-action rifles that we see here. On this bench, we can see the worker putting together the parts to build the bolt for a 110 series bolt-action rifle. In this case, on the same model 110 bolt, we can see the worker installing the plunger and spring for its ejector. And this was the last operation to have a completed bolt subassembly. The final assembly of the receiver and the barrel, with the barrel lock nut and the recoil lug between them, is done with the bolt in place so that the correct headspace can be set. The gun being built is a Model 110 ultralight with a proof research barrel. The last operation is to torque to the prescribed foot-pound value the famous Savage barrel lock nut. Savage is also renowned for its AccuTrigger, and this is a completed subassembly. The AccuTrigger subassemblies are expertly put together by this worker that also checks its functionality. We should not be surprised to see so many rimfire guns in Savage. After all, it's one of the most popular guns here in the United States.
Finished rifles in Savage Arms. Now this concludes our factory tour in Savage Arms, but it's not finished yet. We still need to learn how to physically build a rifle. We're actually going to build one rifle ourselves, and it's going to be an impulse straight pull bolt action rifle in 7mm PRC, and let's get to it.
Essentially, I'll perform the final assembly of a complete gun using the various subassemblies built out of the individual parts that have been manufactured here in Savage.
Just making sure that's good.
Okay, that's good.
Yep. Yep, like that. And your first one goes in here.
It's really exciting to know that I'm putting together the gun that I will take back with me and that I will actually use in the field.
Then you're going to put your bolt in. This notch here is your 12 o'clock, so that's always north.
So like this?
Yep. Yep.
So
Now,
Building an impulse rifle in the Savage factory allows me to appreciate some specific features of the gun, such as the fact that it does not need to have the headspace set during assembly because that is already built in the barrel extension. Matter of fact, the receiver is aluminum just like an AR-15 and has no pressure applied to it.
Okay. It.
The Impulse Mountain Hunter AccuTrigger is factory set at 2 pounds. The flat bottom of the Impulse receiver and the bedding block made of aluminum of the AccuFit stock makes it extremely easy to mount the stock to the action.
it'll drop right in. And then when you screw that in, just push this down out of the way.
The only operation that needed a little bit of concentration is turning down the screws with a preset torque wrench.
Do it in the shoulder, it's much better.
Yeah.
If you do it here, it's very unnatural.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Now it works. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
And then just remove the bolt.
And that's the way you actually realize that you have to do something to make it work. Okay.
Yep.
That's it. Our gun is finished, and the plastic bag with the magazine and the documents is fastened to the barrel.
All right.
Every gun is function tested in the indoor range using a automatic test fixture and a magazine full of factory standard ammunition.
Yep.
Kicks it out.
These are not proof loads.
This regular standard load. This, when you close the bolt, put it on safe.
Okay.
You go forward. That's simulating, like, say you trip and fall, and the blunt force hitting the ground doesn't make the gun go off.
Okay.
That's
What
just
are the safety checks you do?
yep.
All of them there. Basically, it's almost as if we did a pre-proof for.
Stills or video? It's running. Running.
It's not hot at all.
That's what the proof research barrel does. Is it makes it so it doesn't get as hot.
Well, thank you so much.
You will.
Hi guys, so this is the Mountain Hunter Impulse rifle from Savage. It's a straight pull bolt action rifle that I actually built. Yes, I had a lot of help and we assemble it, then disassemble it, then reassemble it many times, but now this is my rifle. My rifle from every single point of view.